Hello everyone. This is a little video to show one of the two journals that I have made for two of my very, very good friends. The other one will be shown separately. I wanted to make sure that I had given these to my friends before debuting them on YouTube, just in case they watch my channel. So this one is a little golden book about God. A vintage little golden book. I think this is a second edition. The price was 59 cents, and there are two signatures, and I have a vintage sheet as the spine. Sorry if the lighting is a little bit off. I'm filming this in the evening after dark, and I'm also in a different location, so it might be a little shadowy. And then the back I left as is, and I tied it with some of this new I guess country blue silk type ribbon at Hobby Lobby, and I put a little bit of trim here. Decided not to do the book corners because I thought it was in pretty good shape and I didn't want to cover the price. I also left the original book plate name and date just because I thought it was cool. She can choose to put something over that if she wants to. Here we have a double pocket, and I just sort of did a little collage, and this is one of those spiky rose trim pieces from Hobby Lobby. And then I just did a little tag with a rosebud fabric pulled into the top of it, and then a little journaling card. So the theme of this one, I guess it's not really a theme, it's just a reminiscing / nostalgia / childhood journal. I did a Sunday school postcard, and then I took an Eloise Wilkins book page. It was actually a fly page at the beginning of the book, and I turned it into a little foldable journaling spot. Let's fold it so that the little deer is on the outside because it's adorable. And then this wallpaper, this is a wallpaper digital. I have 3 or 4 of them in here from Tailor Made Journals. Here is a belly band that I made with pieces of fabric snips. And then because this was a friend journal, not to be sold, some of these items in here are not copywritten, or they are copywritten and not able to be sold. So here is a little Holly Hobby stationery page that I found on Pinterest, and I just printed some yellow stripes on the back. Here's a library card with an Eloise Wilkins image, and then a Montgomery Ward receipt or refund voucher. And here's a rectangle doily. You might have seen where I found these at a estate sale recently. So excited. And then I think this is a black cherry Kool-Aid dyed paper. Here's the original book pages. They're all in here. And then I only had to trim off a little bit because I did the process where you double fold the pages, and so to cover up the fold I put some washi tape. I sewed some vintage yellow lace here that I got actually just a few days ago in Happy Mail from my friend Mary, so it worked beautifully with this green and yellow. And then I tacked some greenback stamps here, and I found this on Pinterest as well. It is a scan of a Post-it note type stationery with a Holly Hobby character. This is a little leaflet for 4s and 5s from Sunday school from the mid-70s, I believe. I found that in an estate sale recently as well. This is a science book, textbook page. This is from a book, I believe it's a golden book called The Little Bunny. They had a series of real children with real animals, and this is called The Little Rabbit. And it's about a little girl that gets a rabbit. And then clipped onto here, I have a animal rummy card. And then here is just a little image of a Viewmaster and a little strawberry shortcake journaling page. Lots of gingham in here. I love gingham so much. Here's that same vintage sheet that I turned into a pocket, and I've tucked in a button card and a GA Mother-Daughter Banquet piece of ephemera from the 60s. I got this out of a scrapbook. And then this is a scan of a birthday card that I received as a child. It had little elves. And this is a page from a Jell-O cookbook, of course. This is a napkin, I'm guessing from the 90s, and I turned it into a little envelope here. And I've tucked in a vintage baby shower card or baby gift card. And then this is a graphic digital from Pink Paper Peppermints. And then here's a sewing pattern from the 70s. It's got a little pantsuits. And I just opened it right here on the side and turned it into a page. I decoupaged some pattern paper on the back. Richard Scarry page. I put some Hobby Lobby rum pink pom-pom trim. I love that new color that they have. And then up here we have a little game money. And then I embossed a little coin envelope. I don't know if it's picking up. And then I put a little bit of pink ink on it. And then tucked inside of here is a Holly Hobby journaling card. Lots of really pretty pastels in this journal with a few bolder colors thrown in, but mostly just soft, very feminine colors. So I probably need to do a little process video on this. Whenever I do end cuts, when I use either 8.5 by 11 or 12 by 12, I end up with strips. And I keep them all in a pile, and at the end of each project, I will glue them down onto a file folder and then use a zigzag stitch and sort of Frankenstein sew them together, almost like quilting. And then I will cut it into pockets, tags, journaling cards, belly bands, whatever. And then when you glue it down, it helps hold the threads in place. So that's one of my favorite ways to use scraps up. And it just kind of brings a cohesive element to the journal. And this is some vintage wrapping paper that I've glued onto a file folder, turned into a tag. And this is an embossed card with dandelions. This is from a book called The Nonsense Alphabet, which was one of my favorite books as a child. Found a copy of it at a thrift store. And then this is just a digital printout, this beautiful periwinkle. Dick and Jane, of course, had to be in a nostalgic childhood journal. I just realized I need to erase these page numbers. And then a little ticket here and a little strawberry shortcake journaling card. Can you see that okay in the light? Then we have some vintage lace sewn on here. This is a sort of a tuck spot that I made from an end page of a Raggedy Ann book. So it's somewhat, jagged edge, but I thought it looked really cool. And then this is just a little Hello Kitty digital, and then one of those little scrap pieces again that I turned into a little journaling spot. Oh, and this is Sari Silk sewn on the top. And then this is a pink paper that I punched the edge. Here's a belly band with a little strawberry journaling page and a little calendar page that I think I got as a Happy Mail from Cindy. This is a piece of eyelet material that I've made into a pocket and put a doily. And then I have another Pink Paper Peppermints digital, and then I put this Tim Holtz ballerina on a paint chip and put gingham on the back. And then this is a scan from a birthday party invitation that I received as a child. I have a keepsake box, and I went and scanned all of my things at one point, and I used them in personal journals. And then this is just a little notepad page that I found at a yard sale. This is a stamped image. I love doing stamps with two different colors. It's just, I'm not the best at it, so I always try to stamp it onto something else and then tear it out and glue it to the page. That's just a little fail-safe way to stamp for me, who's not super, my stamps don't always turn out great. And then a little Bible verse card. It's one of those daily bread cards. My hands are cold, so I'm having trouble grabbing things. This is a little envelope that I made from a book page. And then I sewed some trim here and here. And then inside I have another one of those Holly Hobby stationaries. And this is decoupaged with some vintage, some vintage tissue paper. I could not think of the word. So that's a way that you can use tissue paper in a journal if you find some really cool vintage retro tissue paper. You can decoupage it on top of a book page. That's the end of the first signature. Here's a side pocket with a sewing pattern girl. And then we have a little coupon. And then a handwritten recipe card and a music flashcard. And this is from a Cabbage Patch book. I hate that the little guy's head got put into the center of the signature, but I only have a few pages left of this book, so I'm using it sparingly. And then I sewed some eyelet on here. There's some more of those cute little faces. And this is from a preschool workbook. Here's a Holly Hobby card. And then I embossed this and then lightly sanded it because this is white cord cardstock. And yes, this was planned. I put the pink gingham next to this girl. Sometimes that just happens, but that time it was planned. And I embossed this envelope here and then glued the back or the flap of it onto this page, and it flips out. And then inside I have two daisy journaling cards. Here's a Peanuts page, some vellum. This is from an Arch Bible storybook, which I think all of us had in our Sunday school classrooms. And then this is a pattern instruction sheet. Here is a little gusseted bag, and so on the inside of this bottom part, I've clipped a little digital image of a greeting card. And then inside the bag is a little beautiful gold journaling card. We have some handwriting paper and some, I think this is a Bastian's piano instruction book, which is the book that I learned from. And then we have some vintage peach lace. Here's a vintage greeting card. I love this image. And then here I have just clipped, I stamped a little bow, and then I clipped a little, I love making these little note flip pads. It's one of my favorite things to make. So fun. And then I made, out of cardstock, I made a pocket page. And so in here we have a Baptist hymnal page, Tell Me the Story of Jesus. And then a little snippet of some eyelet lace with ribbon. And this is a vintage I want to say label. It's not a label, it's a seal. It's probably from Eureka because I did not see it on any of the Denizen websites listings that I looked up. It was probably a Eureka label. And it's a flip up tag and then another one of those little sewn together scrap tags. And then this is another Sunday School Quarterly for grades 3 and 4 from 1990. And I accidentally put 2 pages in here, but that's fine. She just gets a bonus. And then some more TaylorMade Digitals wallpaper. This is an ad for telephones from a magazine. And look at those banana seat bicycles, y'all. And this is from a Disney Princess coloring page, a coloring book. And this is from a sewing book. And I've tried to put the Eloise Wilkins center pages as the center page for each signature because they're just lovely and I don't like to break them up. Some instant milk packets. Here's some white crocheted lace. This is not old. This is from Hobby Lobby, but I love it. Bought that recently. Another pink paper peppermints card. I turned into a tuck spot with a flash card and a little image from the Ginghams. It's a digital of the Ginghams paper dolls. I don't know if you know who the Ginghams are, but they were super popular in the early 80s. And then here's another one of those cards, and I put a ruffle on the top. This is some vintage gift wrap, and I put this cute little saying from Tim Holtz on there because look at that face. And then in here are the rest of those paper dolls, the Ginghams. I'm not going to take them all out, but there they are. I put 2 of them in here, and then I've got their dresses down in here, and this is just a fun little interactive element. I love putting paper dolls in childhood journals. I think it's so fun. And Past Paper Pretties is where I got these, I believe. I could be wrong about that, but she is on Etsy, and she has so many vintage paper dolls. And this is also from that Gingham's kit. And this is a giant tag. I wanted to incorporate this Eloise Wilkins image, so I turned it into a giant tag. Little things. And I put a vintage yo-yo there. And this is some ribbon from Hobby Lobby. Isn't that cute? I think this is the biggest tag I've ever made. I really like making big tags. I need to slide this over a little bit so the page will turn. This is some vintage lace that I found at thrift shopping in Florida this summer. And then in this bag we have another one of those embossed cardstocks with a white core, and then a game card from the Color Bunch. And then here's another vintage gift wrap made into a tag, and I put some mushrooms on it. That's probably the only thing in here that's not little girl looking, but it's so 70s and 80s, the mushrooms. And then we have a Rita flip here, and then I tucked in some embossed dyed paper as well for writing. And the colors do kind of go with what's happening here. That's one of the reasons I chose that. This was probably my favorite page in the book. I love that page. And then tacked up here we have a page from a Hallmark gift book that I just recently bought at an estate sale. Isn't that cute? And then I've just made the corners decorative. Why I'm a whole year older than I was yesterday. and then a little embossed card in a coral. And I did not plan this, but there is brown and there is coral on the opposite page. So sometimes that happens and it's fun. And then this is the last page, and it has another embossed card. And then this is an entire quarterly, or I don't know if this is quarterly. This is like a leaflet for Sunday school for older grades. I'm not going to pull it out, but I got this, a bunch of these in a Happy Meal from Cindy, and I was so excited to share one with my good friend. So that is it. That is the little golden book about God, and I will be giving this to her this weekend, and then cannot wait. I have been wanting to make one for her for a long time, so this will be great. And I'm going to show you something my husband showed me. If you tie in a square knot, which means you the first time you do this part, you go one direction, and then when you do it again for the bow, you go the other direction. See, I'm going the opposite way. And then it creates a bow. Well, that's not really centered, but it creates a bow that the little ties and the bows don't turn sideways. Does that make sense? So it's laying as it should, and you can tie your shoes this way too, and you won't have shoelaces that look like that. That is something that my husband is very excited about, and he tells everyone. So I started tying my journals that way. So thank you for joining me today for this flip through, and I'll have the other one up shortly. And I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Talk to you soon. Bye.